clear. It should be clear in your mind that there will be many challenges, and these challenges will not be easy. You need to sacrifice a lot in this time journey, and yes, uncertainty is there. You need to make your mind clear in that. And how will you make that clear?
Hello everyone, welcome to iExamD. Today we have with us Mr. Nischal Mittal, who has cleared DEPR exam, RBI DEPR exam this year in 2023. So many congratulations, Nischal.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Nischal, for taking out time and sharing with us your journey to become the DEPR officer this year. I'll give a brief background about Nischal. Nischal did his post-graduation in economics in 2022 from DSE, Delhi School of Economics, and soon after he started working with UBS. He's currently working there, and he decided to take exams for IES, Indian Economic Services, and also DEPR this year, so that he could, further use his knowledge of economics in this field. And very glad to share, in his first attempt for both these exams, he has cleared it this year. And we are yet to look at the marks to come out for DEPR, but for IES, he has scored an All India rank of 1. So once again, many congratulations, Nischal, not just for DEPR, but also for IES, and that too in your first attempt getting AIR 1, I think is commendable. So many congratulations once again from the entire team of iExamD.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So Nischal, start करते हैं कि किस चीज़ ने आपको मोटिवेट किया इस साल 2 एग्जाम देने के लिए, and how did you manage to clear them both?
Yes, ma'am. So during DSE, actually, I was I got this interest in policy side. So basically, it is a good combination of research and policy advisory that I developed interest there. But during DSE, actually, I got this I got placed in corporate in UBS. So at the time, I was not clear very much that should I appear for Indian Economic Service or not, because you know that if we are taking the decision of appearing in both the kind of these exams, so you need efforts. You will have to face many different challenges. So I was just trying to be sure about that. And when I joined my job, so that at the time, actually, I felt that, okay, I will have to go for Indian Economic Service because I needed that combination of this research and advisory thing that should be there in my job, because I was unable to justify that whatever I have learned in economics, if I'm not applying that in my career, in my job, then it will not be justifiable for me, and it will not be good for me. So that's why I actually tried. Pushed myself for Indian Economic Service and RBI DEPR preparation. I think I started back in October or November in 2022, and at that time I also cleared this JRF. So that also provided me a push. So this is something which pushed me to prepare for both of these exams.
So very important. मतलब सबसे पहले तो that determination, that motivation is needed to work,
Yes.
because we know it's going to be a long hard journey. मतलब काफ़ी कुछ आप लोग को पढ़ना पड़ता है, काफ़ी vast syllabus दिया जाता है for both these exams, and IES में तो काफ़ी लिखना भी पड़ता है, तो you need that
Yes,
a lot of practice to write those detailed answers. Both in DEPR also actually that happens. So if I start with, like, you started in October, so you had almost a year but less than a year when the actual
Right.
exams took place. तो आपने जॉब के साथ कैसे मैनेज किया, कैसे स्केड्यूल किया? आप एवरी डे पढ़ते थे, कितने आवर्स पढ़ते थे?
Ma'am, I think to clear these kind of exam, you need to read every day. That consistency is required at any cost. So I divided it in two. We have 24 hours. I divided it into two parts. One is office time, and another is non-office time. So because office time is not in our hand, so I try to put it on the less priority. But on the other thing, non-office time, that is something which is in our hand. So I try to increase the time for study in that part. So like for the sleep hours, I try to reduce it by half hour, 1 hour, so that I can get that time. I try to reduce the wastage of my time which I am doing on my mobile phone or like social sites with any other thing. So I actually just try to make it possible that I could get out like 4 to 5 hours from the non-office time. Now coming to the part of office time, so I at that time the work from home was available for you from UBS. So I grabbed that opportunity because in work from home we can get some time in the office time as well, and because you know that there is some commitment from office as well. So I didn't compromise with my office stuff. So so like I just use this use this an opportunity, and I increased my efficiency there. So that if some work is of like let's say 4 hours, I could definitely complete in 2.5 hours. So that's how we can try like to get the time there as well. And I looked at like so, and the next challenge that comes before you is that you will have to transfer your mind from mode 1 to mode 2. Like mode 1 is office time, and then you have to come to study time. So to reduce that, you just that will come over time, that your mind will definitely understand that okay, this person has to study. So that will come over the time. So these things help me to manage my time during job, but it is quite hectic. It is very hectic because sometimes it is the case that you don't get even 0 hour, but consistency is necessary. That without that it will not be possible, I think.
So that's a very good point, Mr. Two things that I am taking. Definitely consistency. जो भी आपको मिल रहा है, sometimes it could be 1 hour, sometimes it could be 4 hour, but you have to keep that consistency because then only over time we'll be able to switch the modes from study to work and all. And we have responsibility. I really like that point that you mentioned, that we had a responsibility towards the job. So you never sacrifice that. What you did was maybe get efficient. So time management, time efficiency was something that you slowly worked towards, so that you could manage both. And third point I will say is, it's going to be hectic. So if we are mentally prepared, we have to accept that. Yes, it's not going to be an easy thing, but I think that's where the motivation comes in, that if we know this is our goal and we have to reach there, that's when we are able to manage those difficult times. It's never easy. So great. That's I think very good points that you brought out, Mr. So if I talk about specifically DEPR, because you were preparing both the exams simultaneously, in DEPR there's also the first phase, which is objective, which does not happen in IES per se.
Correct.
So how did you manage to prepare for phase 1, or was it something different strategy that you were using for phase 1?
So for phase 1 and phase 2, like in this year, the pattern was changed, first of all, for DEPR. And we got to know that pattern has changed, I think, in the end of April. So before that, we were thinking the same, like the paper will happen in the same way as it happened last year. And there was, I think, subjective exam was only one. So so that part was there. So little bit change in the pattern. But for the objective type of say, I didn't prepare it for separately. What I did is that for Indian Economic Service syllabus, I think that is very vast, and it covers more than 80% of the syllabus of DEPR. So that helped me to base my to prepare my knowledge base for RBI DEPR. Apart from that, because it is objective exam, so you will need to customize yourself for that. So in that sense, what I did is that I tried to see some past year paper, which was, I think, which are also provided by Exam. So through that, I try to understand that what type of questions are being asked. And when you prepare for a subjective kind of paper, right? So there, the questions are different. But for objective type question, where you need answer in one word. So I try to prepare in that sense, giving some mocks, giving some like preparing from the past year papers. And I think it also suggested by some other toppers. I saw their topper stocks, so they also suggested if we go through JNU papers, past year paper, like JNU entrance past year paper, and I have given that already. I prepared that already. That also helped. So if your basic is good and if you prepare well, and if you are and you know that RBI DEPR objective paper is not that kind of paper which will not be you wouldn't be able to solve it in time. You could definitely do that. it gives some plenty amount of time to solve that paper. Like 65 questions in 2 hours, that is not a very big task. So that is something that's how I prepare for objective exam in phase one.
These are good points. Practice helps because you're able to think quickly. Actually, it's not about not knowing things, but sometimes, when we have to choose between very close options, then practice does help in that
Yes,
part. So great. So if we talk about now phase two, which is descriptive and very close to IES pattern, it's especially this year, they also divided it into different sections this time. It wasn't before this in the EPR. So were you practicing writing answers, and how would you, get feedback in terms of how your answers are going and how your practice is going?
so as I mentioned that for DEPR, I didn't do like much thing separately. For Indian Economic Service, because they have already 6 papers, all are subjective. So that already helped me to prepare my answer writing. One thing is there that for RBI DEPR, we have to write 5 questions in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that is not the case that you will have low amount of time. You will have good amount of time. But for Indian Economic Service, it is the case that usually in the given time period, it is very difficult to complete, like to even like do all the questions. So that is something which was not there in RBI DEPR. So I actually tried to maintain the quality of in my questions. So because for Indian Economic Service, I already did that answer writing thing. So I understood how to write. But for RBI DEPR, I actually customized it with more data points. More statistics, and if I could provide it like more in research kind of way, like more analysis kind of way, that actually helped me. And because I did this self-study thing and all these things, so I think all these things help to me, and because it was not that much hectic as Indian Economic Service, so that actually helped me, and I think Indian Economic Service made me best for this.
Great. So if I may ask you, what would you say would be the top sources, because you mentioned that you're studying on your own, so I am sure you did refer to a lot of books in economics and all. So what books would you suggest, the top ones that one should not go off for at all, and would they be cover to cover, or how should the approach be to study those books?
I think one book that I referred for many topics, that is H.L. Ahuja. So microeconomics and macroeconomics, many topics are there. That is quite helpful. Second is, I think you can also refer this. I think I just forgot the name, but it is used in the graduation course. That is modern microeconomics. I think it is a red color book, but I don't know I can't remember the name. And other thing is that for other books, if you see the project IES website, they have provided a good amount of book list. But as I said, that every book you do not have to read fully. What you need to do is that you need to analyze that what kind of questions is being asked and which topics you have to pick up. It is possible, like you have done post-graduation, so so every topic like in some extent so, and you have referred some books in your graduation and post-graduation. So even if some book is being provided in booklet, that doesn't mean that you can't refer your readings in your graduation, or like can't refer those books. You can definitely do that if that is sufficient. So this is what I do. Like in my graduation, I referred these books. I took all these books, and for example, for the public economics, I did H.L. Bhatia. That was helpful. So other books were also there. So these things, this thing helped me. This is the book list that I referred to.
Great. So yes, DEPR, RBI has also given a list of the books, but I agree that it is important. It is important that you see the topics, and then accordingly, not every book needs to be done cover to cover.
Correct.
And on your own strengths, because all of you are postgraduates, so you've kind of studied these subjects someplace. So. And that's great. If I talk about English, because English descriptive is another paper that comes in DEPR. So was your approach a little different for that? Because that's a little different from how the English comes in IES.
Yes, I think from IES it was different in quite sense, because in large sense, because the thing is that we have to first type the essays, the paragraph, and all. So that is something which is not there in IES. You have to write on pen and paper. So that is something which was not there in RBI. So you can divide it in two parts: typing and knowledge. So again, the typing part you need to practice daily. I think whatever you are, if you are making notes, let's say, then what you can try, that you can. I tried it. That I tried to write my answers in MS Word, even if I'm not doing it for essay writing or paragraph writing or pressy writing. But if I'm preparing some notes, I try to do it in MS Word, so that my typing speed can be good there. And because it will be on the keyboard, so don't try not to use the keyboard of laptop. Try to use a separate keyboard, so that you can be familiar with that thing. So this is the typing part. Second is that knowledge part. I think they provide this 2 or 3 topics for essay writings and all. So you need to prepare some basic topics, for example, in case of specific to RBI, like CBDC can be one topic, and these if whatever developments are going on in RBI, that is something you need to connect it with essays. For example, cryptocurrency, that can be one essay. So this can be there, and you need to remember that RBI just not work towards they work towards other social issues as well. So for example, like this year they asked this essay on how developed countries are the region for this climate change thing happening, and how they are how they are not making themselves responsible. So this is something which is about the social issues and how they are connecting climate change with it. So this thing you need to think around. You need to think around different dimensions that can be there for particular topic, which can be there for essays. For Prezi and all thing, as I say, that you need to do practice for that. They can be there are you can just try writing the Prezis of different paragraphs, like for example some of the editorials from a newspaper. You just can try to summarize it. That is very helpful. That is necessary for Prezi. You need practice. Letter thing was like surprise for me in the exam. I didn't expect that a letter will come there. And another thing was, I think, paragraph. So yes, I think it was paragraph, or I don't remember right now. Yes, reading comprehension. I think that is the scoring part. So I tried to do that. I should approach the question in the sense that reading comprehension should give me maximum possible marks, because it is very easy. You just need to do. You need to understand, and you just need to write it. So that's how I just divided the whole paper into 2 parts, typing and knowledge, and that's how I did it.
Okay. So if English, like you've mentioned, it was typing. So was it only after phase 1 did you start typing practice, or were you doing it before?
Ma'am, I think this year English written exam was in phase 1 only. So before, after the written exam of IES and before the exam of phase 1, I started the typing. So I got around 20 days to do the practice on typing. But yeah, I was, because I am working in UPS, and they most of I have to prepare reports. So I was already familiar with typing up to some extent, but it was just a speed thing that I worked on these 20 days.
Right, that's correct. I also missed this time they had moved it to phase 1.
Yes.
So great. So if I move ahead, after English, then you gave the phase 2, which we've talked about in detail. Then came the phase 3, which is related to the interview. So
yes.
Once you cleared the phase 2 and you saw your name for the interview list, I'm sure another level of practice, preparation, motivation was needed that time. So what was your approach towards that?
No, I think if we are giving some kind of interview, specific like RBI DEPR or Indian Economic Service, and any other kind of job where the specific like you are specializing in some field, there is not that it is just a test of personality. It is the test of your knowledge as well. So in interview, they ask something from your subjects as well. They can ask that. You should expect that. From my IES, I joined this interview guidance program after that. After like I saw this phase two thing. When I cleared phase two thing, I joined this interview guidance program of Jambi. I think one mock was conducted and that provided me some direction. And apart from that, because for Indian Government Service, I was giving mocks to my friends, to other experienced people. So they also provided me direction that helped me. But for RBI thing, I think it is necessary that whatever they are doing right now, in some cases CBDC was new thing, these other things. So whatever is specific for RBI, that you need to prepare for interview. That how do you say, how you can relate it with your own journey. My whole interview went on my job. They connected my job with AI. They connected this with cryptocurrency. They connected this with this NBFC risk and all these things. So and then they also went into research, but that was not related to job, but that's also that they providing dimension. And they also went to DSE in my interview. So there's something you just can't expect. But the main thing is that you need to practice. You can start speaking in mirror. That will help you to how you need to make facial expression. There are some videos which will help you to understand that how you have to sit in that kind of interview. For RBI specifically, you sit very far from the table, so you will they are able to see you fully. So in that sense, you need to prepare very well. You need to be dressed very well. So because every part of your body will be visible for them. So that is something which you need to do. And one thing is that you need to boost up your confidence. If you have cracked phase 1, phase 2 already, then it means that you are just one level one level apart from your yes. So and it is 75-mark interview. So it is not like you should not need to be depressed for that. You have already done that. They also know that you have cracked phase 2, so that no need to be worried. You just need to keep your confidence up. And they also see how confident you are for your answer. And as other experts suggest, that you don't need to guess in your interview. So that I prepared that I would not guess. I would I say no if I don't know. And I actually tried to keep my confidence boosted. And because it was a kind of different experience for me in Indian Economic Service, the interview was in Delhi, but for RBI interview was in Mumbai. So there was a different challenges that I faced. But for me, I was working professional, so that also helped me to how to communicate better. So try to communication is important in the interview. And that you can that you should try to practice that. You can do that by talking to your friend, by talking to your family member, if they are understanding any complicated thing of economics in very simple words. So any complicated topic, if you are able to make understand your family one who are not familiar with that, then it means you are communicating very good. So this is all that I have. I approve this interview thing for DEPR.
That's great. I think there are very, very to the point points you have made here. Importance of communication, importance of preparing technical subjects, and that to the interest of the organization. Very, very important. Right. And the confidence part is, very, very correct. That you've reached a certain stage, so that's not the time to give up on yourself. We have to, in fact, boost ourselves up. And I especially like the fact, because that's something I also keep telling a lot in the mock interviews and all. Talk to yourself in front of the mirror. Right. Surprisingly, it's a big help. We may sometimes not realize it's a big help. So great point. I think
I remember that in mock you were there and you said that you need to smile in in the interview, and that actually made me realize that I don't need to. I should not be looked like I am tensed. So I should be smiling. So that is these kind of directions you get from these mocks and all these things. So you need to this practice mocks or everything is very helpful in this.
Great. That we are glad to hear it has been helpful. In any way possible. Of course, Mr. So it's been a great long journey for you, and it's ended. The fruits are there for both the exams. Now it's in your the ball is in your court to decide which one you pick.
Yes, yes.
And many congratulations, especially Mr. So before we log off. Any fine points in terms of you told what all you did and it worked, anything that you would like to share that one should not do maybe while preparing for these exams?
I think if someone is deciding, that is it is something which I think very important. Before before deciding for appearing for RBI DEPR or Indian Economic Service, just need to make your mind that clear. It should be clear in your mind that there will be many challenges, and these challenges will not be easy. You need to sacrifice a lot in this time journey, and yes, uncertainty is there. You need to make your mind clear in that. And how will you make that clear? It will be a dedication. It will be support from your family, from your friends, and it is your hard work that will make it possible. So first thing is that, like, after you have decided, then there will be challenges which will come into your thing. But you don't have to be you need to keep your confidence up, because you know that you can do this. If you are capable, then only you are deciding, right? So you can do that. Anybody can do that. It is just that you need to do some extraordinary things. You need to bring, like, you need to be a person in that time period who has no time for some other thing which your friends are doing. So there will be very distraction that your friends are doing some very good thing. They are enjoying, they are doing party, and they are doing they are going on trips and all. But you don't need to be distracted. This is something which will you need to keep in your mind while preparing for this, and definitely you will get it in any way. Like it is you that who has to run 90% of things will be done by you. So yes, so this is something which is very necessary, and basic things are required. You need to what we say, brainstorming different dimensions of a topic, and that will be very helpful. I think RBI asks very straightforward questions. You just need to put up represent everything in very good way, so that they also, like, some say that your answer should be presentable. So you need to present your answer in a good way. That is sufficient. They ask, like, in this year they ask, like, what is the indifference curve. Now, for a person who has done post graduation, who right, what is indifference curve, but you need to present that so that they can give you 20 out of 20. So that it is possible in RBI. So that is you need to keep in your mind.
Good points, Mr. I'm sure.
Ma'am, I can't hear you. Yes.
Yeah. So I said great points, Mr. Thanks for sharing those. I'm sure it will motivate a lot of students, and I think you very candidly have told the reality also. It's not going to be easy, so you have to stay determined and keep the distractions out till you reach your goal. And of course, it's going to be your journey. 90% it's going, as Mr. said, 90% is going to be your preparation, your dedication. For the remaining 10%, wherever we can support iExam, we would definitely like to pitch in whichever manner it can. So thank you so much once again. Many congratulations, Mr. And thanks again for taking out time for sharing in so much detail all your points and all your journey.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Wishing you best of luck for your career ahead.
Thank you, ma'am, and all the best for every aspirant who is going to appear for next cycle of these exams.
Thank you.